Communication between work cell and DCS. Communication between the work cell, which is industrial automation, PLC, HMI, sensors, actuators, that sort of thing, and DCS is crucial for centralized monitoring, control, and coordination of the industrial processes. Network architecture. Both the work cell and the DCS are connected through a reliable network infrastructure. This could include Ethernet, industrial field buses like Profibus, Modbus, or even wireless communication in some cases. I'm still not convinced that I like Wi-Fi on industrial machinery, but
yeah, it's just times are changing, or
it's times they are changing. Yeah.
I mean, we hacked our Wi-Fi thing in like 30 minutes.
It doesn't sound pretty good.
What really scares me is the SIP safety, the wireless safety.
You cut a cord, it doesn't actually turn off the.
Yeah.
That can be fine.
Yeah, that makes me nervous. You know, when Drew and I were younglings, safety was always hardwired. Was always redundant circuit. Everything was normally closed, so if the wire broke, it would open the loop up and say, hey, this is a problem. So you weren't relying on switches to close to make it tell you that there's a problem, but if anything opened up, it did. And now it's, hey, let's do it over Wi-Fi. Yeah, that makes me nervous.
As it should be.
The topologies, depending upon the scale and requirements, network topologies such as star, ring, or bus are used to connect devices within the work cell to each other and to the DCS. If you're going to have a device level ring to get things connected to your DCS and then the higher networks from there, like the corporate network, so the boss can sit in his cushy office, they have what is known as a bus tap. And it's basically a device that has 3 Ethernet ports on it.
Oh, really?
So port 1, 2, 3, and your DLR is connected to the other devices in the regular ring.
Oh, no kidding.
And
That's
then
pretty cool.
this is a virtual connection. It just mimics the traffic that's going through here and sends it up to the corporate network. Your DCS may or may not be part of the ring. If it is, then it's just part of the ring. If it's not, then you have one of these in there to get the signals out of the ring and into the DCS. The neat thing about DLR over star topology is kind of what they call self-healing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If you have a break in the ring there,
It goes to
then
the
these guys can't talk to each other anymore, but it can still go that way and they can still talk to each other. They just got to take the long way.
That is so cool.
It's like the Wolverine of networking right there.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah, I should.
pretty neat.
That is pretty neat.
And I get it, I get it with more, I wanna say sophisticated connections, you could probably get it to where there's 2 breaks in the ring and they can still somehow talk to it, no?
No, if you have a break here also, these guys are now isolated. They can talk to each other, but they can't talk to the rest of them.
Oh, I'm thinking of something else. Yeah, okay.
Standardized communication protocols. Industry standard communication protocols are used to ensure interoperability and seamless data exchange between devices. Examples include OPC or OLE for process control, Modbus TCP, Ethernet IP, Profinet, etc. All the communication protocols that we've talked about. Ethernet IP network is probably the single most prevalent one nowadays. But there is a company called ProSoft. I may have shown you guys that. They make protocol converters that will go from Ethernet to pretty much everything else. So they got one that goes from Ethernet to Modbus, one that goes from Ethernet to DeviceNet, and Ethernet to Profibus, Profinet, whatever you want to do the conversion to or from.
That's cool.
It's like a, what was it? This other thing.
That's why I know it.
You've seen them before?
Yeah. They make wireless monitors, wireless adapter, like a wireless, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. ProSoft is what they call an Encompass partner with Rockwell. So Rockwell says, okay, we're going to charge you for it. Rockwell's all about the Benjamins. We're going to charge you for it, but here are the specifications for the Ethernet IP protocol. You do what you got to do to convert all these other things to Ethernet IP. Why Rockwell doesn't do it themselves, why Rockwell doesn't do it themselves, I don't know. Going from Ethernet to DeviceNet and back. Because DeviceNet is also a Rockwell thing.
Mm-hmm.
They have to contract with ProSoft, so here you worry about it.
Yeah.
So all of these standardized protocols, you call it what was it? ProSoft, yeah. This ProSoft thing. All of these protocols are for the different devices connecting to one another in the actual work cell, right? ProSoft is like a common IP protocol for all of them since they translate them, or no?
It's a company.
It's a company?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
ProSoft is a company that makes the protocol converters.
Hmm.
And the only thing IP about it is either Modbus TCP or Ethernet IP.
Okay. All right.
Nothing else is IP based.
All right.
Gateway devices. Sometimes gateway devices are employed to bridge different protocols used in work cell and DCS, ensuring compatibility and smooth integration. That would be the protocol converters that I was just talking about. Data exchange, real time, for critical data that you have to have right now. If you're talking about batch control for pharmaceutical, food and bev, nuclear, anything like that, you need to know right now exactly what everything, the status of everything is. So it is transmitted in real time, or at least as fast as the light will let it go. Between the devices and the DCS, allows for immediate monitoring and control adjustments. If you have pharmaceutical packaging and something goes wonky, you want to make sure you catch it as soon as possible. I don't know if you guys have ever seen how a pill press works.
What?
Pill press,
Yeah.
how they turn powder into pills. Yeah, it is just lightning fast.
It is.
So if you detect a problem, by the time you detect a problem, react to it, and shut it down, you've already made, like 1,000 bills.
And they make them by the multiples, it's not just one at a time, it's.
Yeah,
like 10.
I'll show you a video.
Mm.
It's really cool. They make sweet tarts the same way. I love sweet tarts.
Yeah, they do.
Been a while since I've had this.
And then batch data transmission, batch production data, historical, maybe periodically transferred between work cell and DCS for analysis and reporting purposes. I've never seen one personally that uses batch data transfer because real time is, stupid easy to do. Integration, SCADA, or supervisory control, and data acquisition, often used as the interface between the DCS and work cell. Nowadays, SCADA is even used as the DCS itself. Provides visualization, alarming, historical data logging. Remember we were talking about the data historian the other day? That's part of SCADA. And then remote control. DCS controllers receive real-time data from the work cell, process the data, and sends commands back to the devices to adjust operation as needed. Data security, implementing secure communication channels such as VPNs, and encryption ensures data integrity and confidentiality between work cell and DCS, protecting against unauthorized access and cyber threats. There again, I know I've mentioned this before, the cyber threat. Cyber threat's only a problem if you expose your network to the internet.
It's true.
Yeah, unless, well, I guess you'd have a disgruntled employee internally that can do bad things to your stuff, but typically you think a cyber threat is China or India or somebody, Pakistan, whatever, trying to get into your network to disrupt things.
That's a big issue nowadays.
Yeah. Actually, had somebody ask me yesterday, I think it was, about a VPN. And what would you use a VPN for? Well, you want what you're supposed to use it for or what most people use it for? VPN is virtual private network. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world, you can, as far as the network is concerned, you are local. That's the primary thing that's used for. If I'm out on the road and I'm a traveling sales tech or maintenance tech, and I need to access drawings or, process an order or whatever,
That's even.
and I'm in Timbuktu and my office is here in Springfield, I can use a VPN and use all of the resources back at home office in Springfield as if I was sitting in that office. Sure.
Yeah, I had a company that I worked for, and they would give us a laptop, and you had to do all your work in the VPN. And it didn't matter if you were here in New Mexico or whether you were in Iraq or Afghanistan. It just treated you just like you were in the home office.
Yep. That's what they're supposed to be used for. Also very useful if you happen to access public Wi-Fi. You go sit in the Starbucks or the St. Louis Bread Company, McDonald's, Walmart, wherever they have public Wi-Fi access. Anybody can see what you're doing on that network.
Yep.
So, as soon as you connect to the network, before you do anything else, you also connect to your VPN. And now all of your traffic is encrypted between your computer and the destination. So nobody, they can tell that you're connected to a VPN, but they can't tell what any of the traffic is. That's where people would use it. Because if you are on a VPN, you can do all kinds of nefarious things like download copyrighted material, stream kiddie porn, you know, all kinds
Yeah,
of
but
horrible.
I was saying, like with a VPN, it kind of opens up the door to.
Mhm.
Given that the VPN itself isn't tracking it, because there are ways.
Yeah, that's the other thing. In the United States, all VPN providers are required by law to keep logs of everything. They tell you that they don't, but they're required by law to do so.
So,
Try to build his own.
oh, okay, so I assume it isn't illegal to build your own then?
Nothing.
Okay.
It's an open source software called OpenVPN.
Hmm.
My phone, whatever I did with it, there it is. My phone is constantly connected through VPN back to my house. The reason why I do that is because I run an ad blocker at home. So while I'm connected to my VPN at home, all of my DNS goes through my ads or my ad blocker at home, so I don't have to watch ads on my phone no matter where I'm at.
So you said it was called open source?
OpenVPN.
OpenVPN.
It's like a Linux version of VPN.
Or,
Yeah. It runs on Linux core.
Oh, does it really?
Mm.
Oh, okay. I love Linux.
So anyway, VPN can both be a good thing and a bad thing. I was going to mention about the Walmart and Starbucks free Wi-Fi and whatnot. Hotel Wi-Fi. And if you happen to be out traveling and you're in a hotel, yeah, don't use their Wi-Fi either. Not without a VPN anyway. Because anybody can sniff your traffic. So if you happen to be sitting at Starbucks and you log into your bank account to check the balance and somebody's sniffing your traffic, they now have your credentials to get into your bank account and they clean you out and you don't even know that.
And then nicer at the hotel, more lively.
or just take $10 a week or something, and you never.
Redundancy. Redundant communication paths and failover mechanisms are often employed to ensure continuous operation and minimize downtime in case of network failure or device malfunction. You can, if you have redundant communication paths, you can use them in two different ways. One, you can do a load balancing, so it tries to send equal traffic down both paths. And then you can have a failover where if, one of them is used as a primary source of communication, and if it fails, it will seamlessly transition the data transfer over to the other one. So that's the two ways you can use those. I've had MediaCom, and their pricing started getting stupid. So I went to Brightspeed and said, hey, how much? And they said, way cheaper than paying MediaCom. I said, cool, let's do it. And then I called MediaCom up and said, hey, I don't want your service no more. They said, well, you're paid up through the end of the month, so you'll have it till then, and then it'll shut off. Okay. So just for giggles, I set my router up at home to do failover.
I was gonna say, I was like, I
Just
just started
check.
quarantining everything.
Well, I set it for failover because I wasn't sure that Brightspeed was gonna be reliable. Because I know MediaCom's not.
Well, I was actually curious, kind of half, you pretty happy with Brightspeed so far?
I've had very good luck with them.
Yeah. I mean, I don't.
Yeah. MediaCom
I would
goes
love
out
to
every
get out
time
of
the
the
wind blows
umbrella of
crossways.
AT&T.
You what?
I'd love to get out from under the umbrella of AT&T.
Yeah, look into Brightspeed.
I definitely will.
The really neat thing about Brightspeed is they have the same speed up and down.
Yeah, I remember you saying
So you can
that.
upload at the same speed that you do.
That's pretty rare, very rare.
Implementation considerations. Compatibility. Number one. You need to make sure that all the devices in your work cell and DCS support compatible communication protocol and standard. Or you need to use a protocol converter to get everybody talking on the same wavelength. Think of it like a translator. Configuring and commissioning. Proper configuration and commissioning of communication settings are essential to establish reliable and efficient data exchange between the work cell and the DCS. Can't tell you how many times I've gone into a facility and, hey, this machine that you made for us will not talk on our network. We can't get it connected to the system here. Okay, well, first question is, did you provide us with the communication settings for your network when you ordered this machine? If yes, then the problem is on your end. If no, then we put in our default stuff, and if you would have read your turnover package, it would have told you in there, hey, this machine is set up with these default settings, and if you want to talk on your network, you want to fix it. Nobody ever reads the TOP.
Yeah, true.
That's what tells you how often to oil and what kind of oil to use, and you know what's recommended for belts and chains and all that stuff. And nobody ever reads that. It also includes, hey, if you want to connect to your network, and you didn't tell us that beforehand, these are the default settings, here's the default login, blah, 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 blah. Here's how you fix it. Yeah, I went to visit more than one customer, and all I did was say, hey, IT department, I need an address and a gateway.
I was like,
Done, see ya.
Charge you $80 an hour.
Oh, it's way more than that.
Yeah.
When I left CPS, it was $150 an hour. Plus expenses.
I'm not surprised.
So they paid for my plane to get there.
Oh, really?
They paid for everything that I ate while I was there. They paid for my plane to get back. They paid for my time on plant, on site.
It took you 5 minutes to fix it.
I can't believe they missed that. Like,
Oh, dude.
it just seems like such a
Yeah,
major thing to miss.
yeah.
Dude,
Like,
working
how
for
did you
companies,
You
they're
would be
amazing.
surprised how many of them did it.
And
They're amazing on.
I'm not
with their
surprised,
English.
but it still blows my mind anyway.
Yeah. Monitoring and maintenance, regular monitoring, diagnostics, and maintenance of communication networks and devices are necessary to ensure optimal performance and uptime. Most systems will monitor themselves and let you know, hey, I can't communicate with that node over there, that host device. But it helps if you are being proactive about it. Hey, this communication link over here is starting to get kind of flaky. I'm getting weird data from it, and sometimes it drops out completely and that sort of thing. And you start looking, oh, look, my mouse started chewing on frickin' wiring. And it happens. So you don't just set it and forget it. You want to keep an eye on things, make sure that everything's running the way it's supposed to. And last but not least, by implementing robust communication strategies and leveraging standardized protocols. And standardized is one of the key things there. You don't want to have some communication protocol that, Johnny come lately invented in his garage yesterday. operation of the DCS and work cell can be effectively established, enabling centralized control, monitoring, and optimization of the industrial processes. The end.